All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Deep the Giant. Haven't made a video in a while, I know, but we got to talk about it, man. Akash Singh, we praying for you, man. For those of you guys who don't know, Akash Singh, he's a comedian, Indian guy, comedian. Yeah, his wife came out on some podcast, I want to say, and was talking about her past, if you will, in a not so safe for work fashion, right? And it was just a mess, right? The internet's flaming this guy. Everyone's, calling him, a cuck, if you will. I don't necessarily want to come out and do that. That's not necessarily the motive for this video. But I just want to say, Akash Singh, we're praying for you, bro. Now, Akash Singh, right? I want to say coming into this marriage, not that, I'm watching or doing all this and that, but you hear these things, these facts sort of resurface when situations like this occur. Akash Singh was a virgin going into this marriage. He's a very wholesome guy, very put together guy, if you will. And there's a clip of him, I want to say they're on vacation, him and his wife, where he's like, oh yeah, and I knew from the moment I met you, I loved you, and this is the love of my life. I was going to make this woman my wife, this, that, and the third. And then it cuts to the podcast where she's talking about, oh, I used to love going to the frat houses and this and that. And I woke up after, inviting my ex over and, my balloon knot was sore, this, that, and the third. And it's like, dang, bro, man down, man down. Now, there's a couple things about this that I want to address, right? One is, I hate to bring these guys up, but the red pill space, right? Situations like this kind of give the red pill space, those dorks, kind of gives what they're saying some validity, right? It ain't no secret. A lot of people are very, they're, as I like to say, living their truth, right? Meaning they're going out, they're, meeting new people, doing things with these people. I'm sure you get the gist by now of what I'm trying to say. And it is what it is, right? I'm not hating. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing either. But it is what it is. This is the era that we live in, right? So when you meet a partner, you do your vetting, this, that, and the third. You have to kind of take into consideration that, hey, everybody has a past, right? I'm not just talking about a sexual past. I'm talking about everybody has a past. Everybody has skeletons in the closet. Everybody's going through their demons. Everybody has moments that they're not proud of, right? And so this kind of gives those red pill guys a little bit of wiggle room in terms of, see, we told you so. These 304s are out here doing 304 things. And that's the part that sucks. Now, on the flip side of that, it ain't no secret, Akash Singh and his wife, they're Indian, right? Our culture, we don't really, not to say that doesn't happen. This is very taboo, right? And again, trust me, I'm not saying this does not happen. Trust me. But it's very taboo. One, you don't even talk about it. Two, you don't really do the whole frat house, frat girl thing, or what is it for girl, sorority girl thing. Not to say that there aren't any Indian people that don't do it, but it's just not really a thing with us, right? You go to school, get a good education, you get into a good college, and once you start your career, once your career kind of starts snowballing, then you start looking for another like-minded individual who went through the same process. In other words, there is little to no room for dating, if you will, right? And by dating, I mean dating, hooking up, meeting other people. If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend growing up in high school, middle school, it's very secretive. It's not like, other cultures where, you got your 14-year-old and they come to you, hey, mom, meet my boyfriend, whoever. Oh, why don't you bring him over for dinner? Because you guys are only 14 years old. Like, yeah, what do you guys have in common, right? It's not that much. If you tell your parents, your Indian parents, while you're 14 years old that you have a girlfriend. I remember my mom pulling up on me, walking my, not girlfriend, but I was talking to this girl at the time. I was a senior in high school. She was like a year younger, right? And this was the tail end of senior year. I mean, graduation was weeks away, maybe just over a week away. And she caught me walking her home, right? She didn't live too far from where we lived. walking distance, obviously. And my mom was like, when I got home, who was that? Oh, is that, and she didn't use the word girlfriend, but a bunch of questions, right? I mean, I was literally being interrogated. I had my backpack still on. She stopped me in the garage. The garage was open. She was, doing laundry, whatever it was, maybe cooking something. Because, Indians love the garage kitchen setup. If you don't have the garage kitchen setup, you're probably not Indian household. I digress. And it was a bunch of questions, right? Now, as a 30-year-old, my parents, my uncle, aunts, whoever it is, when they hit me up, they're like, hey, one of the things they love to mention is, hey, by the way, like, we can't wait to go to your wedding. And I'm like, well, what wedding? I'm not talking to anybody. Well, go find one is usually the the answer to that. So yeah, it doesn't really happen that often, right? So in Akash Singh, his situation, I'm sure his mind is racing, right? Now, I gave you two sides of that, right? One is the red pill space, those guys being vindicated by this. I want to say I saw a few videos, I didn't see the videos, rather I saw the thumbnails of Myron Gaines having something to say. But I mean, I don't really watch his content. Of course, red pill guy, he's going to jump on a topic like this. And then the other side of it is, the whole, Indian upbringing thing. We don't really do this, that, and the third. Outside of that, I don't have a tinfoil hat, but if you want to imagine me wearing a tinfoil hat right now, you could put yours on if you have one. Might this be a humiliation ritual? Might it be? Might Akash Singh have a couple of comedy specials lined up? Might he have perhaps even a movie lined up? We don't know, right? We know the whole humiliation ritual thing is kind of a thing in the industry that people do to elevate their career, if you will, right? To kind of propel themselves into a higher space, a higher stratosphere within their industry. Excuse me. So maybe that could be it, right? I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. But something to consider, right? I don't know. We'll find out more about this. And at the end of the day, who cares, right? If you're an adult paying bills, saving money, trying to do this, that, and the third, make your life work, do we really care about what's going on with Akash Singh? I just kind of wanted to get on here because, this hits close to home. Not in terms of going through what he went through, but this is another fellow brown guy who this is happening to, right? If this was, I don't know, if this was, who else got exposed like this, who's not Indian? I don't know. But if this was like, I don't know, The Rock or one of the Paul brothers, like, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't make this video, right? But the fact that it's a fellow brown guy, it's not a good look. Akash Singh, we're praying for you, bro. Get well soon, yeah. In other words, there's some fucked up shit. Anyways, I just want to get on here real quick and do this. We're running on about 8.5 minutes now. I got to get the rest of my day going. I got to go. Peace.